Hey guys, in today's video we're going to take you through 10 simple tips that you can start implementing today to start getting easier, better, faster fat loss results. Coming up. Now, if you're new here, my name is Shannon from Shannon Bellows Fitness, and I'm here to make weight loss as easy and simple as possible. So consider subscribing for more videos just like this. But let's get into your 10 tips. So tip number one is I don't want you to vary your foods up too much in the beginning of your fat loss or weight loss diet. The reason behind this, and I know I do tell people and my clients that they can eat anything that they like and still lose weight. Now, if you're new to this, it's going to take a little bit of practice to figure out what foods have how many calories in them. Adding in lots of takeaway food just because it can fit your calories doesn't necessarily mean that you should always include takeaway foods, treats, and high calorie chocolates and lollies and things of that nature. Now, what I do suggest you do is make up your own meal templates and try and stick to them for as long as you can. What this means is I want you to make about 3 or 4 different types of breakfast, lunches, and dinners, all that fit within your daily calories. And then just for a couple of weeks, just rotate through those specific meals. Once you then start to get bored of those, you can then just switch out small things like a different type of seasoning here and there, a different type of meat, or a different type of vegetable. Now, the reason this is going to be beneficial is because it keeps things simple. You know the foods that you like to eat. Most of the time you should be having home cooked food when you can, because you are making it, you know exactly how many calories goes into it. By having the different meal templates, you can literally plug and play with your own meals, the foods that you like to eat already, and then only as you start to get bored, you would then swap out a few things here and there. Tip number 2, eat mostly meat, veggies, and fruits most of the time. And we want to treat treats like treats. A general good rule of thumb is we want to keep most of your food, or at least 80% of your food, to mostly whole foods, and we're keeping our treats, or quote unquote junk food, chocolates, lollies, the really high calorie, high palatable foods, to about 10 to 20% of your total daily calorie intake. Now, there's a few reasons that we do this. A lot of people go onto a new diet and they learn about calories in, calories out, and the fact that they can eat anything that they like, whenever they like, as long as it fits their calories, but it isn't always necessarily the best choice. If you're surviving on a diet of protein shakes, cookies, and ice cream, it's number 1, not very nutritious. Number 2, it's going to leave you really hungry. Number 3, save those things for special occasions. So if you do go to the movies, or if you go out with your partner, you're going out with the kids, you can then have treats here and there, quote unquote junk food, and still fit it within your calories and get great results. Tip number 3 is I want you to weigh, track, measure every single bit of food that you eat for at least the next 2 to 4 weeks. Now, a lot of people have tried calorie counting in the past. They say that it doesn't work for them. Now, the truth is it is going to always be calories in, calories out, no matter which style of diet that you follow. Easiest path from point A to point B is to track your calories. Now, you'd be surprised that once you start paying attention to the foods that you eat and you really meticulously start tracking everything, you'll find that there are little tiny calorie leaks here and there. It could be a bit of toast on the kid's plate. It could be a little cookie that you have at work. Even foods that you thought may have been quote unquote healthy, such as avocado or sushi rolls, can be really, really high in calories and be throwing you out of whack for the entire week. This is by far the biggest game changer for my one-to-one clients who get the best transformations. Number 4, I only want you to start small with your training. So whether you're doing weight training, high intensity interval training, some sort of pre-planned group training, I don't want you to commit to 5 to 6 days the first day that you walk into gym and decide to start your new weight training and weight loss routine. Now, the reason I set a 2 to 3 day per week schedule for my clients is because I want them to achieve massive wins. And in terms of getting into the gym and burning off calories, exercise really isn't the greatest modality for fat loss. Most people would be lucky to burn 200, maybe 300 calories in a weight training session. And that's if they're going pretty hard as well. And there's been many times where I've had clients come in for consultations and I've actually had to talk them out of training 6 days per week and setting a more realistic expectation of what they can actually achieve and actually do inside the gym. Myself and most of my clients only train anywhere from 2 to 4 days per week, and most of my clients average anywhere from a half a kilo to 1 kilo per week of weight loss. Now, tip number 5 is I want you to plan ahead as far in advance as you can, especially for those social events. Now, your calories work on a weekly average. So let's say you're meant to be dieting on 1,500 calories per day, and then one day you have 1,000 and the next day you have 2,000. Over the course of those 2 days, it's going to average out to 1,500 calories. Now with my clients, what I like to do is ask them if there's any social events coming up for the week, how many calories they're planning on having on that social event, and then we would subtract a few calories throughout the week to allow them to be social, still stay on point with their weekly calorie average, and still get really good results while eating the foods that they like and still being social with their friends. Now, this won't be possible unless you start planning your week, which is crucial to your success. Now, another question I also get around this topic of social events and eating high calorie days is it okay to have a cheat day? Now, if people ask me about cheat days, it's usually in their mind that they get to go for an all-you-can-eat buffet as many calories as they want on that specific day. Now, with a calories in, calories out approach, you can still plan to have your foods as long as you plan the rest of the week in advance. Now, the downsides to having a cheat day is it's going to create an unhealthy relationship with food. It's going to set you up for a quote unquote clean eating week where you eliminate foods and then you get to go off the rails and binge uncontrollably on that one day because you know it's going to be at least another week before you get to have those same foods. A much better method is by including all the foods that you like to eat within moderation, plan out your week's calories in advance, and try and save them for those social events when you're going to be with friends and with family. Now, tip number 6 is try and aim anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000 steps per day. Now, most people are going to be sedentary for most of the day. Some people would be lucky to get 2,000-3,000 steps in a given workday. By getting more steps, you are going to burn more calories, you're going to be far healthier for the long run, and steps are accumulative. Usually, a weight training session is going to go anywhere from about 30 minutes to an hour because there's only so much intensity that your muscles can generate in a short time. Well, when you start increasing your steps, it's accumulative. So you can do 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night, 20 minutes in the evening, and it doesn't add into your fatigue, and it's going to boost how many calories you burn within a given day. Fantastic just for your overall health. To be outside, preferably being in the sun, getting some vitamin D, go socially walking with a friend. It encourages the family to be healthy and it's a win-win all round. Number 7, avoid liquid calories when possible. So your beverage of choice should either be water or sugar-free soft drinks. If you can, when you're on low calories, try and avoid things like juices, smoothies, as they don't offer much satiety, but they pack a wallop of calories, which can sometimes, for a small person, be a third to half of the day's calories just in liquid form. Try and opt for things like sugar-free soft drinks, sparkling water, or even just plain good old water. You don't need to go out of your way and drink liters and liters or gallons and gallons of water per day. Just drink to thirst. Your body is very capable of letting you know when you need to start drinking, and there is a myth that is ever prevailing, which is if you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated. Now, your body's evolved over millions and millions of years, so if you're thirsty, just have a drink. Don't stress over that one too much. Now, tip number 8 is I want you to weigh yourself every single morning. Now, I did cover this tip in the last video that I did, which I'll leave up the top here. Now, the reason we want you to weigh in every single day is we take all 7 days, divide that by 7, and then we get our weekly average. In terms of tracking your progress, we only want to compare your weekly average to your next weekly average. Now, this is going to help take away the stress of fluctuations if you happen to weigh yourself in on a bad day. And in combination with your weigh-ins, you also want to make sure that you're taking your waist measurements, which are far superior in terms of tracking your progress for the long term, because the main thing we're trying to do is just become a smaller, leaner person, and we just want to get that waist size down. Best way to weigh yourself is first thing in the morning, butt naked, on the scale, before you eat or drink anything, and then you just go about your day. So the way my clients would do it is they get up in the morning, have a shower, go to the toilet, jump on the scale, log in their weight, and then just carry on for the rest of their day. Tip number 9, find an activity that you actually enjoy. People do things that they hate. People who hate high intensity interval training or they hate weight training will do it because I recommend it, or their idol who's on Instagram recommends it. If you don't enjoy that style of training, it's something that you're not going to stick to for the long term. And weight loss and fat loss and building muscle is a long-term game. This is a marathon. We want you to be here for the next 5 to 10 years. Now, this may mean you might just add in 1 or 2 weight training sessions per week, and then for the remainder of the week, you're just going to be doing activities that you enjoy. So whether that is sports, whether that is group training, whether that is boxing, Anything that you're going to stick to for the longest is going to be far better than something that you hate doing for the short term. Step number 10 is stop waiting for perfection. Waiting for the right time, waiting for the right diet, waiting for the right moment when the kids go back to school. It's just not going to cut it. There is never going to be a right moment. There is no perfect time to start, and no plan will ever be perfect. Today, right now, I simply just want you to start. Whether that's going for a walk, just mindfully eating healthy at your very next meal, all of these tiny, tiny little choices and little habits start to stack up accumulatively over time. Now, these little tiny wins here and there start to become long-term habits, and habits are what's going to sustain your progress forever. This is when people really make truly meaningful transformation. You want to have the knowledge and the understanding of calories in, calories out, getting enough sleep, getting in your consistent weight training, and being in this for the long term, doing activities that you enjoy. Because most importantly, that's what's going to keep the results that you've gotten. Now, I want to know, what is your best tip for sticking to your training, nutrition, and your fat loss plan? Post them in the comments below, and we can all learn together and help each other. If you found this video helpful, please give it a quick like. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.